Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things promise to transform industries, making them more productive with much less cost. But these technologies will only be useful if organizations understand, trust, and adopt them. And right now, just understanding what these technologies are can be difficult, even for the brightest in their fields. That is why we at mymasterlab.com have J Scott Christianson. He helps people understand the impact that these technologies will have on business, society, and our collective future. Hello, Scott. Are you excited about the upcoming workshops on mymasterlab.com?
I'm very excited. These are going to be 3 great workshops, and what's really interesting about these technologies that we're going to be exploring, like Internet of Things, like blockchain and artificial intelligence, is they're going to have an impact across a wide range of industries.
Why is a subject like blockchain such a hot topic? Is it hard to learn its principles?
A lot of these technologies are not really that hard to learn. For example, blockchain is a fairly simple concept, but what happens sometimes is it gets really confused with other things. So for example, with blockchain, we hear about cryptocurrencies and bitcoins and all these other kind of things, and that gets very confusing. But the underlying technology is relatively simple. I'll make sure everybody understands it, and then we'll really look at the practical applications of this distributed ledger system that we call blockchain.
Talking about practical principles and practical use, can you mention some practical situations for sales reps or HR specialists, how they can use artificial intelligence and machine learning in their everyday work tasks?
There's a lot of ways that it can be used. Right now, we're in this pandemic, and so we have to do a lot of things remotely, right? And so one thing that sales reps have to do, and I had to do in my business, is make cold calls. So we had to reach out to people that we didn't really know yet. And there's some artificial intelligence programs, one called Crystal Knows, that I'll show our participants, that allows you to look at LinkedIn profile and other data about a person and get some insight into their personality so you know how to approach them. There's similar programs that we'll look at that can be used to figure out what are the best people to recruit to your company or to your team, or what companies might be most likely to buy your service or your product.
Sounds great. Let's make a parallel with those big brands. For example, Coca-Cola is already using smart coolers to plan production, supply, and distribution. Could you share the benefits of Internet of Things for the future businesses?
Well, Internet of Things are what make things smart. So when you hear about smart cities, smart agriculture, that all means Internet of Things, which are small sensors that can be used to optimize all sorts of different processes. So Coca-Cola is using this, as well as many other companies, to optimize their supply chain. They want to know when a refrigerator is about to be empty and it needs to be restocked so that people don't buy some other brand. And they also want to make sure if it isn't selling, why is that, and find out what's going on. So there's all sorts of ways that this can be used, not only in supply chain, but like I said, with things like agriculture. We have one student that I worked with here that has actually put collars on cows so that she can tell when they're about to give birth. And that is a critical moment in the cow's life and the calf's life, and it's something where a farmer or cattle rancher wants to be around for that so that they can help them. So there's all sorts of ways that these relatively cheap sensors can have a big impact on our business.
That's something like the Amazon Go stores, right?
Yeah, so the Amazon Go stores, that's another great example. You may have heard of those where you can actually just walk in and you can grab something or several things and you can walk out the door and it just charges your Amazon account. Well, maybe that's a smart store, and there are lots of Internet of Things, lots of little sensors all around that are cameras, that are weight sensors, all sorts of things that are helping that system work. And so when we talk about Internet of Things, you'll be amazed at how many things around you are Internet of Things devices.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Scott. It all sounds very exciting, very new, very promising, and I'm sure there is a lot more to talk about, but for more, join us on mymasterlab.com, right?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, and so I hope you'll join me here in June, and we'll get to learn more about these technologies and find out how it's going to impact your life and your business.
Thank you.